So you should now have in place a crisis management team within your organisation. This is a maximum of 5 to 7 individuals which are constantly assessing how your company is responding to the latest updates and news from the coronavirus crisis. Now I recommend this team meets on a daily basis, and that daily crisis meeting has a set agenda. Now I'll go into that agenda in just a second. Let me explain firstly exactly how you should be setting up that meeting. Firstly, as with any meeting, you should be time-bounding that meeting. I recommend no more than 30 minutes on a daily basis to assess the latest news and how you're going to respond as a company. Secondly, start the meeting with the end in mind. In other words, begin with the end in mind. What do you want to get out of that meeting? And for me, there are two things. One is, what action are you going to be taking as a result of the meeting and the result of the new information being presented? And secondly, what's the communication you'll be doing to your employees, your maybe suppliers, your customers and other stakeholders? So be clear in terms of what you want to get out of that meeting. Thirdly, a key aspect to any meeting is to make sure it stays on track is using a simple principle called PINs. In other words, for each of the areas of the agenda, I recommend you use the simple PINs process of what are the progress, what are the issues, and what are the next steps you need to go through in each one of those areas, which will enable you to move forward and enable you to go and deliver clear communication and also help you clarify exactly what your next actions are going to be. So those are the key principles I recommend from a daily meeting. Firstly, time-bound it. Secondly, begin with the end in mind. And thirdly, have a structure as you go through each point of the agenda around PINs. What's the progress, issues and next steps? Now, what should the agenda be? I recommend the agenda on a daily basis is exactly the same, and it covers these 7 areas. So firstly, look at new information which has come from your trusted news sources since yesterday. And from that information, what aspects of it are going to affect your business? And those aspects may be within your control and outside your control. So particularly focus on those ones which are in your control. Secondly, look at your cash flow. That's the second key point on your agenda. Where are you with your cash flow? Are you in line with your cash flow forecast? What other opportunities are being presented? What other threats are there regards your cash flow? Identify those issues. Thirdly, look at your team. So, is your team still up to full capacity? What spare capacity do you have within your team? Has anybody presented themselves with coronavirus symptoms, which means they're going to need clearly to go and self-isolate? And also, what's your motivation within the team? You should be checking with the team on a daily basis as to where they are. Clearly, moving from an environment where you're working closely together to working remotely presents a whole new load of issues when it comes to management. Fourthly, what about your clients? How are your clients progressing? What clients have furloughed those businesses? What clients are particularly at risk? What clients are trying to continue business within this current time? Fifthly, we then focus on the operations. Have you still got the ability to deliver your services as it did previously? What other adjustments do you need to make with regards to new information and new ways of doing business in this environment? Sixth, you need to be looking also at your marketing and sales. Now clearly within the current time, marketing and sales to a degree has taken a back seat. But how can you use that marketing and sales resource to either put yourself in a good position for when the market goes and takes off again? Alternatively, the question I believe marketing and sales should be asking at the moment is how best can a company help go and support and play their role within the wider business community. Then the last point of the agenda is identifying what are those actions you need to be taking from today, from all the new information, and also what's the communication that needs to be going out to your key stakeholders, your employees, and your customers. So for each one of those areas, with the exception of the last, you should be using that PINs process. Progress, issues, and what are the next steps you're doing in each one of those areas. So just to recap the agenda, firstly it's around external information. Has anything new happened since yesterday? Secondly, it's around cash flow. Thirdly, it's around team. Fourthly, it's around clients. Fifthly, it's around operations. Sixthly, it's around marketing and sales. And lastly, it's around what communication do you need to do to external stakeholders and your employees and your customers, and also, importantly, what action are you going to be taking as a result of new information, new issues, and your progress you have made since yesterday.